everyone. So today, welcome to the new video of Foodology. So today we are going to learn about fish, classification of fish, nutritive value, types of fishes, principles and etc. Well, the topic on fish will be a series of videos. If you like this video, please do comment and like and share. Okay, the classification of fish. You all know that fish is an aquatic animal. The main two classifications, the basic classifications are vertebrate and invertebrate. Under vertebrate, the fish which comes is finfish. Finfish is the fish that have fins and even the internal skeletons. And in invertebrates, there are three certain classifications, that is shellfish, crustaceans and mollusks. And what is shellfish? Shellfish includes invertebrates, crustaceans and mollusks. Crustaceans is an invertebrate animal. It has a segmented body and which is covered by an exoskeleton. Well, you all learned what is a segmented body in your 11th and 12th biology. And these crustaceans also have a hard upper shell and a soft undershell. A hard upper shell to cover and for the safety purposes. Now coming to mollusk. What is a mollusk? It is also an invertebrate animal. It has a soft unsegmented body which is usually enclosed in a shell. So the main difference between crustaceans and mollusk is crustaceans has a hard upper shell. Mollusk is also enclosed in a shell but it has unsegmented body. Crustaceans have segmented body. Well, when you consume a fish, or when you buy a fish in a fish stall, there are basically three types of fishes or aquatic animals which you come across. That is white, oily and shell. What is white? Please do remember these words. I'm going to explain in the series of videos what does these words mean. White, cod, haddock, whiting, sole, plaice. People who are vegetarians like me will have certain issues. I mean, we actually don't know what is these words mean, but people who are consuming non-veg and seafood, they must be knowing these words. So if you know these words, please do comment in the comment section. Okay, coming to oily. Oily, herring, mackerel, salmon, tuna, sardines. So these are the types of fishes which are oily fishes. That is, oil can be extracted from these fishes. And what are shells? Mussels, prawns, lobster, crab, oysters. That means these aquatic seafood are enclosed in a shell. And so this shell has to be removed. And what is this white? If you know the answer, please do comment in the comment section. But if you don't know, I'm going to explain it in the coming series of videos. So you must have consumed salmon, tuna, sardines, mackerel, or if you have not consumed, you have at least heard these words, right? So please do remember these words. These are important. Okay, so as we all know that fish is an aquatic animal and water bodies, there are not only rivers but we even have seas, that is oceans, marine waters, pure water, fresh waters. So there are certain fishes which are only available in fresh water. There are certain fishes which are available in sea water and there are certain fishes which are available in both of them. So what are freshwater edible fishes? So as I told you before, all fishes are not edible. Only certain fishes are edible which we consume. Certain fishes they are used for medicinal purposes and etc. and etc. So there are certain fishes which are available in fresh water and they're edible. The fish should be tasty. Yes, if it's not tasty, why will we even consume? It should be tasty. Yes, spices we do add, but it should be tasty, right? It should have nutritive value. See, foods we consume for nutrition and for taste, right? So if these two things are not there, there's no point of consuming these fishes. And what are the species that can culture together without competing with each other? Major carp and catfishes and herrings. Major carp is Katla katla, Labio rohita, and catfishes are Atu, Nistusus, Silonia. Herrings is Hilsa, Gardusia and Chapra. So these are the main three species, major carp, catfishes than herrings, which are available in freshwater edible fishes. And what are the examples of major carp? These are the examples which you have to remember. Just one or two are more than enough. And these species, they grow together without competing. There's a spelling error, please forgive me. Without competing, right? They won't consume each other. They grow together like a symbiotic relationship, and they are grown in freshwater fishes, and they are edible. Okay, so coming to cooking of fish, when a fisherman brings the fish and sells it in a shop, you just don't buy and start cooking it, right? You clean the fish, you remove the outer skin and the skin which and the parts which are not necessary, you do remove it. Though even he removes it, and even certain extent even we remove it, and then we cook and we make it into an edible tasty fish, right? So there are different forms of market fish. So you must have seen that if you go to a supermarket nowadays, they I don't know, in certain supermarkets in India, they started selling seafood in a separate container, separate room, cold storage room. uh, you can buy fish from there. So there are certain market forms of fish which you ask the shopkeepers. Like if you just don't go and ask fish, right, just give me a one fish, you don't ask like that. You can ask a certain in a certain form. So the sperms of fishes which are available in market are whole or round. A whole fish, a big whole fish, drawn, dressed, pan dressed, butterflied, fillet, steak, veal, or center cut. So these are the different forms of fishes. I mean, these are the different market forms. That is, these are certain names which we have given to the fish in the market, and they are sold. So there's one big whole fish which you want to buy. There are certain people who want the skin to be removed and only edible part they want, so that they don't have so much time for cleaning them those all and removing the skin. They just want to go home, clean the fish properly, and just directly cook it. But there are certain people who want whole fish as it is, and they will do the cleaning, etc. and etc. And they want, certain people want fishes in steak form, fillet form. It's about their comfort, right? So there are certain aspects of cooking of the fish, and according to that the fishes are sold in market. So now you have bought the fish from the shop to your home. Now you want to cook, and there are certain rules. That means there are certain principles for cooking of the fish. Yes. So as you know, there are certain rules. There are certain methods to cook rice, wheat, and similarly there are certain methods for cooking fish. So what are the principles of fish? So what does principle of cooking define you? It is also defined as the transfer of energy from heat source to a food. That means when you cook, we basically heat the food. The basic thing, we heat the food. So heat energy is transferred into the food, and that alters the chemical molecular structures of the food. And the food in this case is fish. So when you heat the fish, you pour water or however. But the basic thing you heat, right? Without heating, it's not called cooking. The one of the basic things is you heat it, and that actually alters the molecular structure of any food. In this case the fish, it changes the flavor, it adds flavor, aroma, appearance, it makes more appealing to eat it. And that's why, and that is the most basic principle of cooking. That means heating. Food is cooked, and it also destroys the microorganisms. It makes easier to chew, ingest, digest. So the see, we cannot directly consume the any food. It's like certainly in case of non-veg, you need certain cooking, right? And this cooking helps us to easily consume the non-vegetarian food, ingest and digest. Usually meat will take more hours of digestion compared to a vegetarian food. So if we cook the food, the meat, the fish, the digestion process will be even more faster. So here I have written in a bold letters poaching. What is poaching? Poaching is cooking in a liquid. So when the temperature of the liquid is held at simmering point, which is just below the boiling point. Okay, let me rephrase it. What is poaching? Okay, this is not that poaching that is poaching of animals. Okay, this poaching is related to cooking. So when I said now that cooking, that means heating, is the basic thing, you sometimes grill the non-vegetarian food, that is meat and everything, but sometimes you even add water. So what does this poaching means? That cooking the food, any food, cooking the food, in case this is fish, in liquid, that is in water or any liquid, and the temperature is put at a simmering point. What is simmering point? The point which is just below the boiling point. What is boiling point of water? 100 degrees Celsius. So just below boiling point, that is 70 to 80 degrees Celsius, simmering point, that is poaching. That is at that temperature, that is 70 to 80 degrees Celsius, the liquid is heated. In that, the food is added and it is cooked. That word, that process is called poaching. So now I have explained you about poaching, cooking, but there are different methods of poaching. That means there are different methods of cooking too, right? Like for example, what of this one example I've given, shallow poaching. What is shallow poaching? Shallow cooking. That means you have to take a small pan, a small amount of liquid is added, and often which is used for fish, that is fish is cooked into that pan and started on top of a cooker, but it is finished in a covered container in the oven. That means a small pan is taken and a small amount of liquid is added and fish is often cooked. That means the fish is not entirely immersed in that liquid. The liquid just touches the surface of the fishes and it is cooked. So that is one of the example of shallow poaching. What is the purpose of shallow poaching? It cooks faster, a faster method of cooking. It increases the flavor, that is the flavor, the aroma, it enters the fish cells, which also enhances the taste of the fish. And it does not ruptures the skin cells of the fish, and it is also a healthy cooking method. So poaching, principles of cooking, and the types of poaching, that is one method I've written, that is shallow poaching. There are many other too. So one I have already explained you about shallow poaching. Here I come with braising and stewing. Yes, you have heard this word in the previous videos also. Braising and stewing are one of the basic methods of cooking. It can also be it counted under poaching. What is a braising? Braising, it combines it is a combined method of cooking in fat with addition of moisture. In it, this braising method is a very long process. It is generally carried out in a closed container, example oven. Okay, what does this mean? That is addition of fat and moisture. For example, we pour few drops of oil in a pan and then we gonna add few vegetables like onion, garlic. We gonna fry it and then we add a cup of water and then we add more vegetables and let it boil. So that is a braising. This is just a vague example which I've given to understand what do you mean by fat with addition of moisture. Fat with addition of moisture is we add oil or ghee or any substance which contains fat and then we add water, or it can be even vice versa also. But usually this braising process is a very long process, and this braising is also done for meat, for meat, for vegetarian foods, and even for fish, I suppose. And coming to stewing, stewing is cooking in a small amount of liquid or water, either boiling or simmering. So food to be simmered, stewed, boiled, liquid usually brought to the full boil first. Heat is added to maintain a steady temperature. Okay, what is stewing? A small amount of liquid or water which is used, and that liquid or water is boiled or simmered first. Boiled is 100 degrees Celsius, simmered is 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. And then the food, that is the fish or the meat or any vegetarian food, is immersed into the water In poaching, the food is not immersed. In stewing, the food is completely immersed in the water or the liquid, and then they are boiled or they are simmered. But first they are boiled, the water, the liquid is first boiled, and then when the food is added, the temperature is brought down. And this heat which is brought down is maintained steadily for quite a few times. Then the food is cooked and then it is served.